Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. The nation mourns as the Minister of State for Labour, James Ocholi, his wife and son die in a tragic car accident along Kaduna-Abuja highway. 3 kidnapped girls from Babington Macaulay College in Ikorodu, Lagos regain freedom. Lagos State's governor says their alleged abductors have been arrested. Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, insist that child rights must be respected. And migrant boat sinks off the coast of Turkey, killing 25 people. A reminder here that all our top stories you can find on our websites, channels, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on a mobile device and download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We also encourage you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. And here are a few pictures sent into our Eyewitness portal. We begin with this one from Oladipo Dia Road in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, showing an accident scene, which our Eyewitness reporter says was due to overspeeding. Next is this set of images from Damaliki in Kubau local government area of Kaduna State, showing a dilapidated building, which our Eyewitness reporter claims is used as the healthcare center serving Damaliki Pambegua communities. He's calling on the state government to fix the healthcare center and stock it with the needed medical supplies. Our next photo is from Nasarawa town in Nasarawa State, showing people hanging onto the back door of a fully loaded moving bus. So this is a dangerous move and should be discouraged. We have a similar picture from here in Lagos, in Onikon. Men sitting on the back of a moving truck. An Eyewitness reporter says such act is dangerous. It calls on men of the Federal Road Safety Corps to help stop it. Our trip ends in Ozoro Delta State, where we see a fire service truck, which our Eyewitness reporter says arrived on time to stop a fire disaster that would have destroyed a building there. He gives kudos to the fire servicemen and asks them to keep it up. Thank you for sending in those pictures, and please keep them coming, knowing that you too can become an Eyewitness reporter for Channels Television. Now we continue our discussion on the Babington Macaulay girls who thankfully have been released here in Lagos. We heard the Commissioner of Police say no ransom was paid and that his men combined intelligence, technology, as well as good old-fashioned investigation to get the girls back to their parents. Joining me now to further discuss the children's rights is Mr. Femi Lawson, a child rights activist. You're welcome to the News at 10.
It's my pleasure being here.
So, have these girls' rights been violated by this act of kidnapping?
Well, the issue of violation of the right of the children is it's a human rights issue, and it's something that has been globally acknowledged. And as far back as about 3 decades ago, the whole world has acknowledged the issue of the violation of the right of the young children as a very critical one, and that is why to date the Convention on the Child Rights was, of course, the most accepted treaty ever signed by the international community. That's why we have about 200 member states signing that treaty on the child, and a lot of countries have domesticated this, and even in Nigeria as far back as 2003 the National Assembly sat on the bill, and the then president signed it into law. So it's a serious issue of human rights, and unfortunately the problem we have had, just like we have had with most of our laws, is the problem of enforcement and implementation. And that is why today the right of the Nigerian child, as far as it is today, is not really different from what it was before the enactment of the Child Rights Act, which is quite unfortunate.
And you may need to explain this to Nigerians. How does kidnapping actually violate the rights of a child?
Of course, most victims of kidnap these days are young children. You know, for instance, the school girls in Chibok, who were, of course, you know, secondary school children. The recent one in Lagos, we've had instances of forced marriages, you know, abduction from motor parks, and you know, even the most common one being, the child labor. You find a lot of children on the streets hawking at school hours, and today it's very unfortunate that we have over 11 million children on the streets of Nigeria who have no access to education. So beyond the fact that one of the major factors responsible for the kidnap, is how insecure the children have become. They are exposed, and the states and even the homes are becoming irresponsible, to their protection, and they have become so vulnerable that somebody can just walk up, to a woman's stall, pick up the child, and take her to a distance of 500, 1,000 kilometers without consent. And the fact that look at the kind of security that we attached even to religious places, but such are not attached to schools or other places where we find young children in our society. It shows what importance we have attached to the young children in our society, and that's why they have become so vulnerable. And these kidnappers, I've seen them, as objects, of exploitation, and they can easily, get a hold of them and kidnap them.
You say that these children were vulnerable. Are you trying to say that the Babington Macaulay children were vulnerable in the school where they are? That's a guarded community already.
They were, because, like I said, the Nigerian state does not attach so much importance to the protection of the children. And that is why, like I said, if you go to many private businesses today, private religious organizations, you find a lot of security protections there. But go to schools or go to places where you have young children in our societies today, you can hardly find even the conventional security protections. And that shows, the level of importance we have attached to the protection of our children as a society, which is quite unfortunate.
Now, based on the Child Rights Act, what sort of comfort can these children who have been returned to their parents, what sort of comfort can they receive from the law?
Well, the law provides a lot for the protection of the Nigerian child and the children all over the world. And one thing, like I said earlier, is that no matter how laudable the contents of the law, are, the truth is that without implementation or without the will, to implement such laws, then the law becomes, as useless as non-existent. Because today, even there are still some states in Nigeria that have refused to domesticate, the Child Right Act, and these are issues that has to, speak about the importance those states and even our society have attached to the act. And the truth is that the refusal of these states and the failure or even in states where these laws have been domesticated, the failure of such states, to implement in some cases, have exposed, the fact that the children have remained vulnerable. The society does not care about them, and that is why today you can hardly find any government, except in very few instances, that attach so much importance, to the protection of the children. And that is why we must give kudos to the Lagos State government, because if what happened in Lagos just a few days ago has happened in some states in Nigeria, the children would have been taken far beyond our imaginations, because a lot of states have refused to be responsive when it comes to children. But if it had to do with the political class or people, the so-called popular ones in the society,
I wouldn't want us to make any insinuations here, but I do hear you. It's the responsibility of everyone, both parents and children, as well as the larger society, to make sure that these children are safe. Mr. Femi Lawson, thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
It's my pleasure.
The Lagos has waded into the recent communal clashes in Mile 12 area in Lagos. The Sarkin Hausa Lagos Chief Aminu Yaro, who addressed a rally of Hausa people in Mile 12 today, preached peaceful coexistence between them and other communities and also appealed to them to shun violence and obey laws at all times.
Everybody you see here, he can't look for food, no be so? Everybody here can't look for food, no be so? So why we go fight? We go beg government made a open market. But wallahi talai, anybody who come Lagos say he go spoil Lagos for us, we go find where he go spoil, no be Lagos. Una promise us say wahala don't finish. Hausa Igbo, Yoruba, everybody be one. If una agree, makuna say eko ni baje.
Sarkin Hausa Lagos Chief Aminu Yaro addressing members of the Hausa community in Lagos. Over now to Osun State, southwest Nigeria, where the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, Osun State chapter, have taken to the streets calling for stiffer penalties for anyone caught perpetrating violence against women and children. The Solidarity March took place at the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife, when the protesters expressed their grievance against a paramilitary officer who's alleged to have assaulted his female colleague over parking space at their residential quarters. The International Women's Day is annually held on March 8th to celebrate women's achievements throughout history and across nations. It is also known as the United Nations Day for Women's Rights and International Peace. On this day, issues bordering on violence against women and girls is brought to the fore. A few days to this year's International Women's Day, these women were on the streets of the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife, asking for justice for a colleague whom they say was assaulted by her male colleague over an issue of parking space at their residence on February 25th.
Simple sorry. Don't be offended, please. You better go end. You are telling me I should wait for you to finish dressing up. Stupid girl. Do you know how long I've been in this compound? Do you know the protocol we use here? You want to come and show me sense? If you don't call Abuja, they don't burn your family well.
With placards reading several inscriptions like "Justice for Assaulted Doctor," "No More Violence Against Women," and "Zero Tolerance Against Violence," they're received by the Chief Medical Director of the teaching hospital.
The panel that was set up to look into this will be giving their reports. Meanwhile, the officer or this person that was involved has been queried, and other things have been done. The military headquarters got in touch with us and they've tendered their apologies.
We visit the residence where the fight is said to have occurred at number 22 Akindoyin Street, Ele-Ele, Ile-Ife in Osun State. An eyewitness tells us that the house accommodates 18 flats with this open space for car owners to park. He narrates what led to the fight.
Dr. Okpara came out. He said he wanted to go out, and one car was blocked, and the car was Dr. Teresa's car. And then went to Dr. Teresa and called her. He now told the security man that give me a minute. And after then, Dr. Okpara come with her grenades and opened the door of that lady car. I'm talking about Dr. Teresa. So when he opened the door, he started beating her inside the car.
Although both doctors we were told are out of town, the female doctor's colleagues say that she sustained a right nasal bone fracture as a result of the assault. Let's head on now to the southeast. Senator Mao Ohabonwa of the People's Democratic Party has been declared winner of the Abia North Senatorial District election. He scored about 26,009 votes, while the PPA's candidate, Ojuzo Kalu, scored 25,814 votes. According to INEC's returning officer, Nwankwo Nduka, who earlier today declared the election inconclusive. The reversal of the decision was based on INEC's directive that a rerun election must have a winner irrespective of issues that may arise during the process. However, party agents have been reacting to the declaration of results. The PDP's agent, Mr. Udo Uduma, commended INEC for the decision it took, while the PPA's agent, Madukwe Ukegbu, describes the announcement as illegitimate. When the news at 10 returns, the Confluence City battles indiscriminate refuse dumping on roads. Please join us again.